Hello, Dr. Joseph Martin again. Our topic for today is experiencing self unity by transforming all complementary opposites and dualities within your personal life experience. We know from physics that everything in the cosmology of the universe is, in fact, based on duality and complementary opposites. There's dark matter and there's dark force. And then likewise, in just the human experience, there's always two sides to everything. In our physiological body, there's two hemispheres of the brain, left and right. We have the left and right sides of our body, which have completely different energetic fields. And of course, our life is based on opposites. We have our spirit and we have our body. Our spirit is our transcendent soul, and our body is our immanent, present, material expression of this. We have our mind and we have our heart. We have our thoughts and we have our feelings. We have what's inside of us and we have what we perceive to be reality outside of us. We have our feminine, which is usually the left side of our body, and we have our masculine, usually the right side of our body, in certain kinds of complementary medicines. We have our conscious perception of who we are and the world, and we have our much deeper unconscious, which is hidden inside our psyche, which is also buried within our physical body. Most of us, at the most, have 2% of our unconscious made conscious, which is hardly anything at all. No wonder we don't know who we are. We have no true, real sense, authentic sense of our own identity as individual beings, as souls. We have what we feel is good about our life, and we have what we feel is bad about our life. We have joy in our life, and we have lots of sorrow in our life. We have things that are expressive and coming out of ourselves, and we have things that are hidden and secreted in our life that we don't know about. We have experience of freedom sometimes, maybe not often, and other times experience of great oppression, both within ourselves with our own conflicts and our own tensions and our own stressors. And we have a sense of trying to make our way in the world and create something positive and passionate and meaningful for ourselves. And we feel the oppression of the society, people, and the bullying and or the social institutions oppressing and pushing us. So life for us is a constant, ongoing, chaotic conflict in trying to understand, let alone get to the part where we do the how-to part, of what is this compression that we feel, and the need and the desire to expand. Of course, this is part of the whole entire universe. The universe does compress and it does expand. We experience this symbolically when we breathe out. There's a compression on our lungs, and then we breathe in and we expand again. So this is an ongoing thing in life. We feel within our feelings, we feel a lot of fear inside. And then the opposite to that, the complement to that, is love. And this is a series that we'll get into a little later. So everything we need to understand then, if we take everything to a higher level, like Einstein said, the logical and reasonable and meaningful answer to any particular dyadic conflict or challenge or problem, he actually used that word, is not at the level of still engaging this dyadic dualic conflict. It's always at a higher resolution of a higher consciousness, whereby you can understand and resolve the chaos and conflict between the two dualic complementary opposites. The substance of our introductory talk on this today is how to do that in order to transform all these complementary opposites into a symbolic and experiential and a knowledge-based self-unity. Now, we all go through these kinds of experiences in our lives, and there's no right or wrong in these. There's no moral judgment, and there's really no value judgment we need to place on any of these experiences. Joy isn't more important than sorrow, and freedom isn't necessarily, in the third dimension, more important than oppression. And ecstatic experiences, spiritual or psychological or otherwise, with a friend or with yourself, is really no more important than depression and all the kind of the heaviness that you feel. Let me explain this because, from a higher perspective, these are just simply life experiences that all human people have in all times and all places and all backgrounds. And so we don't want to place value judgments that one is better than the other or one is more right and one is more wrong, because this is just simply not the case. For instance, in what I'm proposing to you as a now a retired psychologist and medical psychological anthropologist, and someone who used medical hypnotherapy for many decades, over 4 decades, and also as a Jungian dream analyst, and many other things besides Ayurvedic medicine, homeopathy, and so on. My awareness is that you need to go deeper into the pain and the things that challenge us most, and don't be afraid of them and don't judge them, because this is where your healing lies. Your healing lies where the darkest part of you is and where the most hidden part of you is, and where the ego would like to lie and pretend there's nothing good there. It's where the unconscious is. It's where the hidden emotions are in your physical body. It's where the soul is lying dormant in the prison of your inner world. It's where your heart is shut down. It's where you're still in mourning, or you're still feeling lost, or you're still feeling empty, or you're feeling lonely. That is where you will find your healing as you create self-identity. It's where the shadow is. The shadow is the unknown part, and many people shy away from it. But in fact, when you bring it to the light of spirit and your uppermost psyche, and when you bring it to full transformation within yourself, you will find that your shadow complexes are just what are, and they are the best friends for you as you continue your process. Remember, this is a process oriented pathway of continuing your healing. Now, I'd like to mention two things here, two true stories, and we all learn more from stories than we do just from knowledge. And you're on your own heroic and heroinic path right now, and there's going to be a whole series on how to become the hero or heroine in your own life. Now, in my life, not to go into too many details, but I can tell you that from the get-go, I was born into lots of chaos, conflict, abuse, poverty. My parents were both fully immersed in post-traumatic stress disorders from both being in World War II, and they were not coherent. They were not open emotionally. They were cold as ice, and they had lots of abuse heaped on them during the war, which they then passed on in their actions and their words and their lack of feelings towards me. I always felt like an orphan. I never felt like they were my family, nor was my brother my family. I always felt picked on. I felt, obviously, I was abused. I know this from all the years of therapy that I went through. And I felt like I never had a family. I was always alone, a very lonely, depressed, sad orphan. And I know many of you listening at this moment, looking at me, can realize that you yourself are in that place, or are struggling to understand what that means for you, and where can you go to find self-healing around this. Well, you do need to bring the truth to light, and the truth will set you free and heal you. And you do need a counselor, a coach, a mentor, someone trustworthy who's going to respect you and your boundaries and give you loving kindness in order to help you along your own path of self-revelation and self-realization. Now, there's an interesting story. It's a movie that I watched last night with a dear friend. It's called Antoine Fisher. And this is a story, a true story now put to film. It came out in 2002. You can get it from your library. Of a young man, in this case, a young colored man, who never knew his mother or his father, put up for adoption just after birth, and he ended up through lots of foster homes in Cleveland, Ohio, and ended up his life being severely abused, physically, verbally, emotionally, sexually, by those people who were supposed to be his caretakers. And now again, I'm listening to you. I can see you and understanding that you, many of you, have either been through this physical experience or somehow internally, emotionally, and psychologically, you know that you also have gone through something like that, or you have little tweaks of kind of body memory or mind dreams or experiences to share the truth of what we're all talking about here now. What I want to say is that you are a good person. Your soul will bring you to the truth. Take heart, take courage, work through all your emotions, all your angers, your sadnesses, your fears, your shame, your depression. Find some way, and we will be having a series of 8 parts in the upcoming I Am Self-Worth series, clearly going through practically all the 8 different aspects of how you can resolve all of this. Very, very important, very exciting. This is going to be a great adventure for you. I wish you all love and courage and support. And this must be done if you're ever to have any kind of life at all, because fear is the way we die daily. Fear is the way we will die daily and never have a life and never know who you are or why you are here. And love is the way you will have a life daily, step by step, day by day, one day at a time. You know what I'm talking about. You will find your path. You will find your passion. You will find your meaningfulness, your purpose, your life destiny for yourself and all the friends that you choose to share with. You are world changers. You are world teachers. The light is strong within you. It's just hidden and buried, and it needs to come out, and it will when you do this process. So I say to you again, all support and kindness, respect for you. In this process, you will learn to create some self-kindness and some self-respect and move forward very quickly, because there is emerging, emancipating super consciousness now on the planet for peoples of all lives and backgrounds in every nation of the planet, of color and skin and orientation. It matters not. It only matters that you take the courage and take the steps today to come to know yourself and unify the two sides of all of who you are. And once you've done that for yourself, as you will see in the other video that's tied to this one, you will be able to create the peace in the world with all your friends and family and neighbors and the community of all that is. As Dagon Awede, the peacemaker of the great Mohawk nation, says again, there is a great law of peace, and it is what your soul thrives on and knows innately. When you open up to your heart and your soul, you will be led every step of the way by your intuition to know how to unify your soul and yourself and find a great identity, a true identity, an authentic identity, and live your life of purposeful passion and destiny. Till the next time we see each other, all love and all light to you, all blessings on your path.